Yeah, it's not usually full.
Can I get a motion, please?
I move to approve the employment recommendation as presented.
Second. Adam? Aye. Mrs. Jordan? Aye. Mrs. Mulcrum? Aye. Mrs. Bilby? Aye. Mrs. Garvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Consent agenda, are there any questions?
Nope.
Motion then?
I move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Mrs. Jordan? Aye. Ms. Allen? Aye. Mrs. Mulcrum? Aye. Mrs. Reinberger?
Aye.
Mrs. Garvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Bilby? Aye.
Appearances before the board.
Dr. Kusnewski is with us tonight. He'll be doing a presentation on what is?
Well, I have transferred from mentoring Ryan to now mentoring the board on how to handle the new superintendent. I'm disappointed that there weren't more questions about the consent agenda from the board.
We were
Right.
warned.
Never
to be
mind,
fair.
there's no presentation tonight.
It's gonna come out with a very long PowerPoint to make up for all
Yeah.
the time.
I think I would just like it noted for the record that I would have had you on a closed session by 7:25, but it's fine.
I appreciate the robust conversation.
All right, public comment. That was it, I guess. Communications. None? Hoya. No. Old business.
So in old business tonight, we have our school calendar that we had discussed at the last board meeting. This encompasses 3 institute days to start the year, which is something a little different from us, so that we can better prep and plan for the beginning of the year and meet some compliance things that are going to be important for us in the next school year. But nothing has changed since last presented.
Motion, please.
I move to approve the 2025-2026 school calendar as presented. Mrs. Jordan? Aye. Ms. Allen? Aye. Mrs. Bilby? Aye. Mrs. Garvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Reinberger?
Aye.
Mrs. Mulcrum?
Aye. All right. We got the transfer funds.
So this is what we talked about at the last meeting. We worked with ECI, who is our construction management firm, on the ECE and Fax Lab renovation. We were waiting for them to give us the final drawdown number that they were anticipating for the project. We got that number and we are looking at a little over $2 million that we would be transferring. Remember that this transfer is so that we can better track our expenditures through, like we did in the last construction project. This gives us a healthy contingency as well in case any things come up through the project that might be unanticipated, but I think that moving this over now makes sense because some of our first payments are going to be coming in the next couple months. We're also trying to get ahead on some purchases, like with the appliances and the Fax Lab, because tariffs come through the way they are. We know that that pricing is going to go up, and so doing some of this sooner than later is going to make sense. Any questions?
Motion, please.
Move to approve the resolution to transfer funds from working cash fund to the capital projects fund as presented.
Second.
Mrs. Reinberger?
Aye.
Mrs. Garvey?
Aye.
Ms. Bilby? Aye. Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mrs. Jordan? Aye. Mrs. Mulcrum?
Aye. Future board meeting dates.
With the future board meeting dates, I think we are looking to hold to a similar schedule that we have in the past. I would just make a note that it'll be important to hold to that May meeting date, because we will need to put in place that board member who is being elected in the next election so that we can continue to have a easier time making sure that we get quorum at each of our meetings until we move forward with appointments for the open positions. So that is something, you know, if we push that date later than what it currently is, we would end up having to have a special meeting anyhow to make sure that we approved or certified the votes. That'll be important. Any discussion around changing the date, changing the time?
We were interested in earlier.
No, there's no way I can make it early. Well, I'm not.
You'll be, you will.
Yes, that's fine. Sounds great.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. 6 o'clock. 6:30.
Katie, I know you have a lot.
It's more just the, yeah, but it's just the varsity sports.
It is.
I mean, that's what, I know it's hard on our administrators too, so.
The,
If that's the.
the administration do on this, what the board recommends, we're here for that. I will say that there are other boards in the community that have the 6:30 meeting. And it is still open to the public, obviously, but that would be totally up to you.
I mean, if 6:30 was closed and we're like in session for the meeting at 7.
Yeah, I think 6.
So
That just doesn't.
looking to potentially change that to 6:30. And that's something that we would look at the next board meeting.
The only thing I would add is, just with the unique circumstances for May 10th meeting is everyone currently on the board, even though there's been an election, would still be a board member. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, it's not true.
Yeah, that's
April will be your
that's my
last
question.
meeting. You technically have to reorganize your board. So for you, that means electing a president and a vice president and a secretary, yet you're only going to have yeah, so just keep in mind that coming up here at that May meeting, you're gonna need to do that.
We would seat the member first
Uh,
and then elect positions.
The person doesn't need to be seated because she's already seated. So
Well-
she doesn't have to take an oath. or
Yeah, I
anything
mean, I
like
guess
that.
so, yeah.
So you don't have to go through that reading
Yeah.
of the oath thing
Yeah.
for Jackie.
Surprise.
But you will have to
Yeah.
go through, that's where you appoint the president and elect Ryan pro tem, elect president, and that's where you pick your.
Reorganization.
That whole thing, so just have that on your radar that there's gonna be 4 people that have to figure that out.
Got this.
I've not.
I think we can figure it out.
Next discussion. And we will motion to adjourn 8:01.
I move to adjourn at 8:01.
Favor?
Hi.